The best stories never begin with "I got an email," but this one does. I got an email from Epson asking if I wanted to be involved in an innovative new learning project, and of course I said yes. So I forwarded that email to Alex Moore, and he then became the inspiration behind what we call Shaftesbury School Future Classroom. Thanks to him and our very generous sponsors Epson and Catchbox and Satcom's Innovation, Grapnels and Biotecture, we have now created an amazing space. My name is Tim Farrar, I'm the head teacher of Shaftesbury School, and what this space means to me is that my young people have access to new ways of learning and new opportunities, and I look forward to sharing that with others as we move forward. Welcome to the Future Classroom.
Hi, welcome to our little corner of the world. My name's Alex Moore and I'm the lead teacher in innovation of teaching and learning. Here at Shaftesbury School we're doing something quite special. We're partnering with industry to create learning that is fit for the 21st century. Students need a future. In the age of digital accelerations, we have a unique opportunity to experiment with a new way to learn. We're living through uncertain times, but there are some challenges we can plan for and help our students overcome in the future. Indulge me whilst I tell you a short story about the Future Classroom and how this project came to be. The inspiration from this project came from my own belief that we should teach students to be creators and makers, not just users and consumers of knowledge. I believe that students should be owners of brilliant knowledge, and I'm really interested in ways that we can research, innovate, and really perform at the cutting edge in terms of teaching and learning. So I want you to imagine a time-travelling child from 1870 Shaftesbury, so 150 years ago. Imagine if we can transport them into our world today in 2020. They wouldn't recognise the technology, smartphones, the GPS, Google Maps. They wouldn't recognise the transport, the cars. They wouldn't recognise the slang, the fashion, and much about the world that we live in. But the one thing I think they would instantly recognise is the classroom, because for them it hasn't changed in 150 years. There's rows of desks, rows of chairs, teachers normally at the front, not always, but normally, imparting knowledge, and the students sit there and they absorb that knowledge. And there's nothing wrong with that model, but I just wanted to disrupt that in the Future Classroom and create something that was really different and really unique and a different way to learn, a different learning environment. So the Future Classroom is an old art room. It used to be an art room, it's restored, and I've turned it into this amazing space where teachers and technology can work in harmony to create the ultimate in pedagogical advances. But it's not all about the technology. Humans have always had technology and humans have always innovated. So the story is about more than technology and innovation, although that is at the heart of what we're trying to do here. It's a project that's not about knowledge versus skills. We should treat and value both equally. When designing the Future Classroom, I envisage a space where knowledge and skills can coexist. A place where technology meets the teacher, but it doesn't replace them. I think it's amazing for students to be curious about curiosity, and it's really healthy, and students should develop a sense of their own why. So when creating this space, I wanted to have a flexible, agile learning environment where students could engage with technology, they could collaborate, and they could work together on projects that were meaningful and had real-life implications. I believe that education should mirror some of the biggest changes in society and issues within society. I recently had the privilege to sit in the UNESCO Futures of Education conference with world leaders from around the world, and they talked about the hopes and fears for education in the year 2050. And central to those discussions was issues such as climate change, digitalisation, how AI may replace humans in jobs in the future, future food with growing populations, will we have enough to feed them? People are living longer, so life expectancy and how that will have an impact on health systems and social inequality, and lots of things like Black Lives Matter were discussed. And it comes down to one essential thing. We need to work as educators on how do we make good people. And I think there's three key things that we can do in this space here that helps that process. The first is collaboration. Let's teach students how to work better with one another, because they will need this skill in the future. The second thing I think that's really, really important is problem solving. How can they solve problems that exist now that potentially can help them in the future? And we do a lot of problem solving within this environment. And the third thing is critical thinking. How can we teach them and help them to make sense of their world? And in order to be doing this, I believe that we need something called transdisciplinary skills, which is a mixture or a plethora of skills from different subjects. So rather than seeing English, maths and science and PE and humanities as separate bubbles, If we can teach all of those disciplines within one setting, then I think we're doing a really good job of creating people ready to learn and work in the future. So you're probably wondering about what technology we have in this space. So I'll talk you through what we have. First of all, the Epson projector enables students to work collaboratively. So 6 students at a time can work on a whiteboard projector with a SNP visual board behind it. And the image gets projected, they can slide it across and have up to 50 different screens, which is fantastic. In addition to that, we have some software called Mosaic 3D, which sits behind the Epson projector, and it allows digital animation and touchscreen technology to move objects around the screen, which is really engaging, and the students absolutely love it. We also have AR, which stands for augmented reality, so we can bring objects into the room. VR, which is virtual reality. We have a digital whiteboard, we have a green screen, and we have various other pieces of technology like the Gratnell's ionometer to enable students to really engage and use technology for the benefit of learning. So to receive updates and engage with our Future Classroom project here at Shaftesbury School, you can follow Shaftesbury_school or Future_Classroom project on Instagram, or you can look at the educationalhipsters.com blog, and there's information on things like the 27-minute learning, academic learning time, Model A, Model B, and it will give you an insight into some of the ideas that we're implementing in the room, and also a link to the YouTube videos of live demo lessons to give you more information on how we're using the space. But don't take my word for it, let's hear from the students themselves. So guys, what do you think about the Future Classroom?
I really like how it's laid out differently to a conventional classroom, and there's no desks or anywhere that you're tied down to, so you can kind of move around and there's loads of space to go see different things.
I really like the Future Classroom because it has really good tech in here, like the light board and the projector that you can write on, and I really like how it's good for the environment.
Hello, we're in Future Classroom today, learning about plant cells on this day. But it's not just about plants, we do all sorts about aquaponics, augmented reality, virtual reality, and many other things. Very sciencey, modern, very modern.
This classroom is a very unique classroom, as it's got a lot of electronics and different equipment, like the board over there you can write on it and you can touch it, and you've got a keyboard that you didn't have to even plug into the computer, and it's really cool.
I really like the Future Classroom as we have an opportunity to use things that we haven't really used before, and it's really cool, especially the light board and the VR headsets.
This is a Future Classroom, and one of the most amazing things is that all of the different technologies you can play with. Like, my favourite is a VR headset because it feels like you're in like a whole new reality world.
We're really privileged to have this classroom because there's only 10 in the country.
This classroom is really interactive. It has a carbon monoxide meter, and it shows you how much carbon dioxide it is. If it goes lower than 75, you have to open the windows.
I like the Future Classroom because of the catch box and you can throw it.
The Future Classroom is amazing because it's different.
I like the Future Classroom because you can really engage with the learning and interact.
And I love the fact that there's no desks.
I like the Future Classroom because it's like an industry.
I like the Future Classroom because it's a good learning environment because you can measure the learning with the learnometer.
I love the Future Classroom. It looks like a professional workplace.
One of the features of the Future Classroom which we've really enjoyed using is the green screen behind us.
We've been using it to take ourselves back in time.
So I'm going to take you inside the Future Classroom where there's a Year 9 science lesson. They're looking at plants with a teacher called Mr. Cooper. So let's open the door, see what's going on. So that buzz that you can hear around the room, that is the sound of learning. Cogs turning, ideas forming, students working together. I'll give you a very quick 360 spin around so you can get a visual of what it looks like in here. And then we'll come over to here. Girls, tell us a little bit about what you're up to here.
We're learning about cellular organelles, and we've got an animation you can play which shows you where they are, and then you can also move it around once it gets in a bit closer to see the different organelles inside.
Oh wow, so it's touchscreen, so you can...
it's touchscreen and you can move it around and zoom in. You can see different parts, and then we've also got a whiteboard open on the inside to do diagrams on.
Oh, amazing. So this is the Epson technology, yeah? So you're able to split the screen and have the whiteboard on the right, 3D model with Mosaic software on the left. and that's thanks to this amazing projector here from Epsom. So if we go under here, we've got a little light board tent here, and then just under here, a couple of students working on a digital light board. Hi guys, how's it going? You alright? So tell us what you got here.
We have a light board here, and we're just drawing some plant cells and writing down some keywords to help us understand sort of more about plants and how they work.
So this is an amazing little bit of kit. So does this like help you practice your presentation skills?
Yeah,
amazing.
It does.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, and was it the same?
Yeah.
So there you go. So you worked the maths backwards to prove that you did it correctly in the first place. So that works exactly right. And obviously using the app, we knew the size scale.
Hey guys, how are you? You alright?
Thank you.
What are you up to?
We're just measuring the size of plant cells.
Okay, is that what's on the whiteboard over here? Yeah. Cool, so you've got a document camera there, fantastic. I'll let you get on with it, thanks very much. Hey guys, how's it going? You alright? What have we got over here? This looks like a living plant wall. Check that out, that is so cool. So tell us a little bit about what you're up to today.
Well, we're learning about the pigments inside of the chloroplasts and how they help with photosynthesis. So with most plants are green, like their leaves, because of the fact that they have chlorophyll inside the chloroplasts, which takes in red and blue light and reflects green light, which is why they are green.
Okay, interesting. That's amazing. And we've got loads of different species here in this plant wall.
Yeah.
Aloe vera, is that the one at the bottom, yeah? Yeah, what else have you got in there? Any ideas? No, this one, it's like a peace lily to me, that one.
Yeah.
Beautiful, very calming, isn't it, the plant wall? Thanks guys, I'll let you crack on with it. What we've got over is we've got the sponsor logos over here, and then we've got a few other bits that are interesting. So we can use a 360 camera to create photo images of the students' work, and then what we can do is we can upload that and send that as a digital URL, so the students can have virtual copies of everything they produce on the whiteboards around the room, which is really amazing. Right, guys, what are we up to over here? Looks like we're green screening.
About digital screen, plant cells and cells.
Okay.
We're making a presentation on it.
You're making a presentation using the green screen. Awesome. Thank you very much. I'll let you get on with it. And then over here we've got Mr. Cooper chatting to a couple of students. Guys, what are you up to?
We're looking at like different cell structures through AR.
So AR stands for augmented reality. Yep. So that cell is actually in the room, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's amazing, and you can zoom inside of it. Great, that's fantastic. Right, so loads of stuff going on. As you can see, it's a pretty interactive lesson. Students up, out of their seats. There's 7 stations set up for the teacher here, and the students are rotating around working in different roles. So some of them are team leaders, some of them are scribes, some of them are presenters, and they're working towards presenting their ideas at the end of the hour.